It is quite often that I see clients who tell me that they feel their lives are over because they really cannot tell what they are going to do next. They have no plans for their lives, and when they try to make plans, they really don't have a way of getting from point A to point B because they really don't know what steps to take to get there. And then there are people who just say that they're not thriving at all because they really just the same thing. They really don't know what to do with their lives. Uh, but then they get from that point into becoming quite depressed, in some cases, becoming very anxious about tomorrow and not knowing what life holds for them. But here is a fact. It is not many people in our world who really know what to do with their lives. And it's not always a bad place to be. And so there is no reason to get very anxious or get very troubled or depressed just because one doesn't know exactly what he is supposed to be doing. Most of us don't really know what we are supposed to be doing. What we try to do is to just find paths in our lives to tread in the hope that walking as we are supposed to walk will get us to the position in life where we really are supposed to be. The truth is that everybody has a place in this world, and there is something that you're supposed to be doing. But if you don't know what that is, then there is no reason to worry because you will, of course, find it if you make the effort. But how do you do that, especially if you're so worried and if you're really concerned that uh, the future is not going to really bode well for you if you don't know what today holds? There are multiple ways to go about it. One is to step back. If you're anxious, then you can really not you can really not get the answer to your questions. What you need to do is to step back a bit and try to draw a map of your life. Identify exactly what you're good at, not what you want to do, because sometimes what one wants to do is really not something that one is good at. It's important to identify what it is that you're good at. And there are multiple ways to identify what you're good at, including what people tell you you're good at. But those people who tell you that you're good at something must be people who can also tell you if you're bad at it. In other words, you take such advice from people who are honest with you about your strengths and your weaknesses. It's important to know what your strengths and weaknesses are and know what you're good at. Then it's also important to identify the steps to get there. How does one become what one wants to be? And it's important as well to set goals for your life. And the goals must be smart. I mean, they must be realistic. If I said, for example, that I was going to be, if I said to you, I'm going to be a basketball player and be in the NBA in 2 years, that would not be what we'll call a smart goal. Because while it is really specific, namely, I will be in the NBA in 2 years, and it is also measurable. And the way that you know is in 2 years, if I'm not in the NBA, then I have not attained that goal. Is it achievable? No, it's not achievable. Because at my age, there isn't anyone in my age who can become an NBA player ever. It's not going to happen. So is it realistic? No, it's not a realistic goal for the same reason that I just expressed. So it is important to actually just identify goals that are smart and work on them. So you need to have a plan that is specific and that has goals that are specific and measurable, achievable, realistic, and then you can change your life around. But the time to do this work is not when you're anxious and depressed, but before you become very anxious and very depressed, so that you can think more clearly. Uh, Again, just to summarize, um, many of us don't know exactly what we're supposed to become, even when we're adults and even when we have major university degrees. It doesn't mean that we know exactly what we are going to become or what we got or that what we got our degrees in. Is something that we are supposed to be. It doesn't necessarily follow. It is important to identify one's place in this world and pursue that, and not just chase shadows, because what that does is it causes one to become what one doesn't want to be. And again, if you do like this video, please just share it. And even if you don't like it, tell with someone who likes it. When you listen to this video, share it. And if you see it on YouTube, like it and interact with it. And the way that you interact with it is by making a comment about it. And also, you may visit my website, www.integrativeruminations.com, and from there you can send me an email with your comments. And if you have any questions, I'll be very happy to answer them.